Sunday morning on the Smallholding. My morning always starts with making up my flavoured water. Today is blueberry. Right, I make up my iced coffee in the morning so it can sit in the fridge. I make mine with milk. I do buy these sachets. This one's a caramel iced coffee. This one around, and I have several bags of these coffee ice cubes. So I make up a really strong filtered coffee, and then cooled, turn it into ice cubes. So these are like espresso strength. Or I use instant coffee to make it up. We're not coffee drinkers, so often what's left in a jar of coffee will go stale. So I just dilute it down, add it to ice cubes, trays, and then I can add it to my iced coffee. When I get the air freshener, air purifier thing made up, and I use the Zoflora Pet Odour Control Mountain Air. It helps to get rid of the doggy smell in the lounge and also helps to clean some of the air. Then I go round, whip round to the hoover, and just to get rid of some of them dog hairs that are lingering around as well. Empty the compost bucket. Oh, and this is the contents of the compost bucket in the kitchen. What's come out of the hoover and where we brushed the dogs. It all goes into the compost bin. On my way back, passing the polytunnels, have a quick check, see that everything's okay, all looking fine. So I did a bit of trimming up in here yesterday, taking some more leaves off. Now we got to get the rest of them grapes harvested and into the pigs. And there's the peppers. I picked them peppers, so I had some to our dinner last night, and then I forgot to take them up the house. So we didn't end up having peppers because it was pouring with rain and I didn't want to come back out again. So I'll have to collect them today. I'll probably chop them up and freeze them. So plenty more cucumbers coming on. And I might start harvesting some of the beans today, maybe tomorrow. These are all late sown parsnips. I'll put them in and check on this polytunnel. Check that everything is fine in here. The sweet corn's about ready to harvest. The main job in the morning is to check the mouse traps. And I come back later on to the polytunnels, but yeah, mainly check all the mouse traps. See what needs to be harvested. There's broccoli here. I need to pick that. No, all the traps are empty. That's good. It goes in fits and starts with the traps. Sometimes we're getting loads day after day, and then we don't get any for ages. But harvesting and everything, I'll come back later on and sort out. A quick look in the last polytunnel. Oh, I need some water. Desperately need some water. Right. What is going on in there? Everything seems fine. So while I'm here, I'm going to throw some water into them. And and this melon here looks about ripe to harvest. That one, not quite, but I'm going to throw some water in anyway, get them watered out of the way. And then I'll come back later on and sort other things out. And then while I'm passing the main tanks for the polytunnel, because I'd emptied most of the water out of these two the other day, using them. This one is full again with the rain that we've had. So I'm just going to set them up. Put that one to run through to that tank. And then we've got more rain forecast this morning, so that will top both tanks up. Ready for some polytunnel watering later on, which we've moved the water with the water pump. All these little jobs you spot as you're walking around first thing in the morning. Sunday morning, I always have my breakfast while watching the sewing show on TV. It's the only time I watch daytime TV. Right, grated up some carrot. Popping some in a jar. It can go in the fridge and we'll have that. With salads during the week. And just a couple of carrots that were left at the bottom of the fridge. So that's going to go in the fridge for salads. This lot is going to get blanched for a couple of minutes. Put some hot water on there. And then they're going to get drained and go in the dehydrator. I've also grated up some of our lovely pink fleshed apples that had come off in the wind the other night. Bread and some lemon juice. They're going to go into the dehydrator as well. So it is literally blanching them for a few minutes in boiling water. Then I shall strain them out, rinse them off in some cold water, and then they can go into the dehydrator, and it stops them going all brown and leathery when they're cooking. The lamb for the Magnolian lamb tonight is out and cooling. The sauce is sitting there, which will be thickened up later to go with tonight's dinner. I'm also going to grate up some patty pan squashes, and they can go into the dehydrator too. Right, that's the some of the patty pan squash dehydrated up. Just going to spread some out on the trays, and of course being grated it dries a lot quicker. And what do I use all this grated stuff for? Well, the patty pan squash can get rehydrated, added to soups, stews, such like. I can also make fritters with it. I could also powder it up if I wanted to make a powder that can be added to breads, pastries, anything savoury. The carrots and the apple. Carrots are naturally quite sweet, and when dehydrated that intensifies the sweetness. So again, they can be used with baking, added to cookies, cakes, but I also like to add them, and the carrot, same. I like to add them to porridge, granolas when I do the low carb porridge and granolas. It's quite nice to have that little bit of natural sweetness in there. The porridge and the granolas are made up with seeds, nuts, and such like. So sometimes I add a little bit of oats to it, which I know are not strictly low carb. But yes, it's quite nice to add carrots, little bits of carrots and apples to things like that. So these are going in the dehydrator now. Right, I've got 2 empty trays left in the dehydrator, and if I'm putting the dehydrator on, I like it to be full. So I'm slicing up some tomatoes. These are quite firm, and I'm slicing them on the mandolin so that they're all a nice uniform slice, and these I'm going to use to fill these last 2 trays. Some of these tomatoes I shall put into a jar with some olive oil and a bit of basil for Martin. Others, then it'll be like a sun-dried tomato sort of thing, and he can have it with his salads. He does like tomatoes. And some of them I might powder up, or I might just leave whole, depends what time I've got when they're done. So I've picked the nice firm ones. Because I don't harvest tomatoes when they are uniformly red, I tend to harvest them when they're starting to change colour. I find once they're all red all over, you know, that sort of colour, rather than that. I don't know if you can tell the difference between the two, but this has got more of an orangey red. That one is and it's starting to soften. So I harvest them when they're just changing colour, and then I can use them and slice them when they're firm. I find once they've gone that darker red colour all over, they do go soft, and I find they're past the best for salads and things. So I'm going to get a few trays done up just to fill the dehydrator up. Fit your hole in there somewhere. There we go, the dehydrator's full. 2 rows of grated carrots, 2 racks of the apple. I've got 3 of the patty pan squash, and there's 2 of the sliced tomatoes. Right, another job for Sundays is I go through the drawer at the bottom of the fridge. I've already gone through it, and I've pulled out the carrots, as you saw, some of the apples, some of the patty pan squashes, tomatoes are over there. So I sort of decide what needs to come out, what needs to be used, but it also helps me for meal planning for the rest of the week. I have the meat out defrosting for the rest of the week. I started making up. I've got a bowl of salad leaves there. I've got carrots, coleslaw, beetroot, garlic dip made. So they've all got to be used this week. I've got a bit of rice left over from dinner the other night, so that's going to go into tonight's stir fry. Yeah, so I just sort of go through, check everything. Got some lemons up there, still waiting to be used, and just check everything and get it all organised. I have my meal list for the week made up. What I need shopping wise, all I've got is lemon juice, so I won't be going into town this week. What's got to be used for the lunches. I've also got these now on the other side of the fridge because Martin is working a lot, scaffolding a lot, so I need to know where and when he is here. So we've got a monthly calendar and then a weekly calendar where I can put jobs up that have got to be done, and other shopping, basically smallholder stuff, hay and straw. He's picking up hay this afternoon. Another job this morning to do, of course, is the sprouting seeds, and that's to water them. This one we'll be using for tonight's dinner. This is bean sprouts. Yeah. So they're going to get thrown into tonight's dinner in the stir fry, and this is a radish mix that will be used for salads during the week. So I can get this one emptied out, rinsed off, put in the fridge, and get another set of seeds on the go. That's the bean sprouts rinsed off, so they'll go into tonight's stir fry. This is my selection of seeds to sprout. Right, so that's broccoli rabe, broccoli calabrese, white mustard, alfalfa, red kale, red cabbage, radish. That's what I've already got in this jar, so I don't want to do another radish. I think I'll do a broccoli. That's what I think. Roughly a tablespoon. Okay. Into a jar. Rinse off with some water. Drain them through the thingamajig. Put its little coat on and put it on the rack to drain. Right, they've been rinsed off and drained, so I'm going to put its little black coat on. Little sprouted seeds do better in the dark. The jar's wet, the little coat doesn't want to go on. There we go. That's it. There we go. Little coat on. Onto the rack there, where it will continue to drain. And repeat that process twice a day, and then in about a week's time they'll be ready to add to sandwiches or salads. Right, I've just snipped out to the garden in the polytunnels to pick up them peppers. That's what I went to get because I need some for tonight's stir fry. Picked a couple of the mashed potato squash. I had a go at growing yard-long beans this year. There wasn't many. It hasn't been good for the weather-wise. It hasn't been good for them. So, but I got a couple there, and I'm going to chop them up into tonight's stir fry. And I also picked a few handfuls of the borlotti beans, just so I can see what they're like. They're okay. And I think if there's a few which were dried onto the plant, so them ones are a bit better. My plan is to dry them and we'll use them in cooking. So I was thinking maybe this stage they might have been ready, but they're not. So I'm going to leave all the others to dry on the plant so I can pick them like this. Then I can leave them to dry out completely and put them away into storage. And of course I went and picked up them peppers that I harvested yesterday and left out there. So I'm just going to put this lot away, and then we're going to go back out into the polytunnel, and Sunday is when I feed the citrus trees, so I'm going to go out and do that. Right, we're outside and I'm just about to pick some watercress that I have growing in this container, and I've got another one over there. So I'm going to pick some so I can have some in the fridge ready to add to this week's salads. Okay, that's the beans shelled. I'll add these. I'm doing a buffalo casserole this week, so I shall add those to that. One of the peppers has been chopped up with a red onion to go into the fridge to add to this week's salads, and that's the watercress I've just been out and picked. So I've just got the other peppers one to chop up for tonight's dinner, the others I'll chop up and open freeze. Yeah, that's this week's lunch is filling up nicely in the fridge. Right, I'm just walking the dogs up the drive like we do every evening. Little one on the lead is my grandson's dog. That's Brookie. Brooke. I'm dog sitting overnight tonight because he's away working with my husband, so we're just home alone, me and the dogs. And I've got Poppy there and Mia bringing up the rear. Little one's on a lead because the men have just left in the lorry, and given half a chance he would try it and follow them. So it usually takes him about an hour to settle once they've left. Right, the watering system is on in the polytunnel, in this polytunnel tonight, so it's having a good 1,000 litre soak of water. So that's the only watering it gets all week. And it's all done with the overhead system, so it's just the same as if it was outside in the rain. Right, the carrots are finished in the dehydrator. The red flesh apples stayed a lovely colour. The carrots have kept their colour as well. And the patty pan squash. Tomatoes are still in there, they will take longer, but all the grated veg is now done. We're all settled down now for the evening. We've had dinner, the dishwasher is on, and I'm just looking for something to watch on TV while I do a bit of quilting. Thank you very much for joining me on my Sunday, and I'll catch up to you again very, very soon. Bye.